Good morning, St John's. It's me, Mr. Ball, and it's Monday morning, which means it's time for our collective worship. Today, I'm going to tell you a story of a miracle that Jesus performed. Often, the stories in the Bible have got names that we call them to help us remember. So, for example, there's the story of the Good Samaritan, or there is the miracle of turning water into wine. Now, the name that this story normally has is Jairus' daughter. But as you'll see, Jairus' daughter doesn't play a very big part in this story. She doesn't really do very much, and you'll see what I mean in a few minutes. Instead, I want to focus on a man called Jairus. Jairus. Not a name that we have heard very much today, but it's a name which has a meaning, and that meaning is God enlightens. Enlighten is if something's very confusing and then you make it not confusing, you shine some light on it. And we're going to see what confusing time Jesus shone a light on then. Now, there were many people gathered around Jesus to hear him preach and watch him do miracles. There were old people and young people, rich people and poor people. Some were sick and some just wanted to listen. Now, there was one man who came to Jesus called Jairus. A lot of people knew him because he was a ruler of the synagogue, which was the place that Jewish people went to learn about God. Now, not everyone at the synagogues believed that Jesus was who he said he was. And so Jairus had a decision to make. Should I ask Jesus for help or not? Well, he had a very serious problem. On this day, his daughter had become so sick that they were worried she was going to die. Jairus came to Jesus because he thought Jesus could make his daughter better. Please, Jesus, come and just put your hands on my daughter so she could be well again, Jairus begged him. Jairus had a problem, but he trusted that Jesus could help. So Jesus went with him. Jairus wanted them to hurry, but Jesus kept stopping because other people needed his help on the way. I think if I was Jairus, I would be getting quite cross with Jesus. Jesus has said, yes, I will come and help you, but he keeps stopping to help other people. Have you ever been really desperate to get somewhere and the person you're with is being very, very slow? That's happened to me. And this was even more serious than that. Just then, Jairus saw his friends coming towards him. They were looking very sad, and he knew that they were bringing bad news. Jairus, they said, you can stop bothering Jesus now. It's too late. Your daughter was too sick. And sadly, she did not survive. Now, in that moment, Jairus had a choice. Should he be cross with Jesus? Because if he'd hurried, maybe he could have saved his daughter. Would he just leave Jesus alone now and say, thank you for agreeing, but it's too late? Jairus did something a bit different. Jesus saw that he was sad, and he looked at him and said, don't be afraid, Jairus. Just believe. And so Jairus didn't get cross with Jesus, and he didn't just give up. He carried on trusting. So Jesus and Jairus and Jesus' friends left the crowd and kept walking until they got to the house where his sick daughter had been. When they approached, they could hear people crying and playing sad music on their instruments. When they went in, they could see that the daughter had indeed not survived. Everyone was heartbroken. Jesus walked in and he told them, "Everyone, stop crying. She's just asleep." Well, even though they were sad, a few people started to laugh. Doesn't Jesus know the difference between someone who's asleep and someone who's been so sick that they've sadly died? Doesn't he know what asleep means? Well, Jesus took the girl by the hand and he said these words, "Little girl, I say to you, get up." And guess what? The girl immediately got up and began to walk around. And before he left, Jesus said, "Someone get this girl some food. She's starving." Now, what I love about that story is that Jairus had so many points that he could have given up. He could have given up straight away when his daughter got ill, but he didn't. He could have given up when Jesus was taking a long time and helping other people on the way, but he didn't. He could have given up when his friends brought him the sad news that his daughter had not survived, but he didn't. He could have given up on that long walk back home, but he didn't. And he could have given up when he saw with his own eyes his darling, beloved daughter lying there, but he didn't. He trusted that there would be a happy ending. Well, I think it's clear what our challenge is going to be for this week, St. John's. I promise you, there will be a time this week when you could give up. Maybe it will be today, when you're sitting down to do some of your maths work or your history work or some other learning in the school, and it's just too tricky. You will have a choice. Do I give up? Or do I persevere and trust that my teacher is there to help me? Some of you might be doing some spelling tests or other kind of tests this week, and there'll be a point where you look at a question and you think, I can't do it. What are you going to do? Are you going to give up? Or are you going to trust that as long as you do your best, that is good enough? In your class worship on Thursday this week, it would be a great time for you to share with each other what you have persevered with this week, or to ask your friends and teachers to help you with something that makes you just want to give up. Now, just like Jairus went to Jesus to help him with his problem, I am going to say a prayer for us now, so that if you would like to ask God for his help in your problems, then you can. If you'd rather not pray, that is your choice, but we're still going to put our hands together and close those eyes so that we're not disturbing our friends who might want to. Let's do that now. Hands together and eyes closed. God, thank you for the example in the story of not giving up and always trusting even when things seem hard. I pray that you would help us this week, just when we feel like giving up, to shine a light on our lives, to enlighten us as to the best way forward, so that we can grow and learn together. Amen. I hope you have a wonderful week, St John's, and I hope to see a few of you round school if I get a chance to. Have a good one. Bye. Is knowing you will always be the